Okay. Good evening to you all. Good evening, Mahesh. Good evening, Kannan. Good evening, Dhanavel. Good evening, Rohith. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to all.
See, today we are aligned together for discussing on the Godrej project on computer vision and deep learning. See, Godrej wants us to do this kind of intervention or implementation intervention in their powder coating section, where they are identifying a lot of defects which is being corrected with a manual intervention of spraying paint over the defects identified. Okay, so our project is going to be confined to powder coating defects that will be rectified by spraying the paint over the defect areas so that we fill up the unfilled paint areas. This is where the problem lies. Okay, based on this, I've already visited Godrej a couple of times, and I've talked to their management and their line people, their engineers, and their experts, I should say, on this side of the powder coating technology, and they were quite very open in discussing what they want from us. See, on a background, I wish to say I have more than 20 years plus of experience or connection with Godrej. That's how I have reached Godrej. Otherwise, meeting Godrej or Godrej people is quite tough. I should also place on records that I was placed in Godrej in 1988, but I did not take the job in 1988 because they offered me marketing, and I wanted to get into production. And thereafter it was a history, and I left. Then in 2002, I had been for OD intervention with Godrej, and we had a couple of. There are only two factories in Godrej in Chennai. One is in MEPS, and another is in Ambattur. So we were doing in the OD intervention projects in MEPS. During that time, Ambattur people also came to know of our intervention, and they started coordinating with us. And that's how I'm in touch with these two people for more than 2 decades. I have a lot of good relationship with these people, and that is the reason I've I've been in a position to clinch on this kind of a startup. Okay, startup of a project. So now, why I'm telling you all this is more not a way by kind of a project I'm hitting. This is a long sown seed, which I want to really cultivate it and keep it further. Godrej is a good name, good brand, and if we do something very good in this, organization, we'll have more potential people to join us. Okay, so let this be the introduction of our caution, where we cannot, mess up or fool with this client. So we need to really, really put our self into it and do it. Okay, now stepping forward. This meeting I had 2.5 months ago for this project with Dr. Ravishwaran, who is the Senior Vice President of Godrej Ambattur, and he handles the supply chain management, SEM. Okay, this doctor, he is very fond of trying new emerging technologies, and he has put his subordinates into a group, like they have to learn Python, they need to learn new technologies, they want to learn new on hardwares like vision capturing or cameras or resolution identification, upgradation, anything of that sort. So he's a man who's always quite onto newer innovation and things that are whichever is propping up on internet as something new. He will look into it, and he's so inquisitive in learning. Okay, this is the requirement, because we need to know about the boss. Then when we get in with the subordinates, we will know where and when we can stop our work. Okay, so these two lines we need to keep up. Now coming on, this project is to be handled with one person called Naresh. Naresh is the DGM in that company, who looks after the operations, but he is an industrial engineer. He is the one I am talking to, though I am in a parallel line with Dr. Ravish. Ravish only has told, put everything through Naresh so that it can be easily implementable. So you people, Rohith and Viswas, you will be first aligning with Naresh. Okay. And into the project identification or the requirements of the project or whatever it is. Okay. Now, having all said and done, I have forwarded the video to Mahesh. So I will leave it to Mahesh to what Mahesh has understood, and then I will clarify if anything is to be done. And then from there, we will start, talking and negotiating on this. Okay. Over to you, Mahesh.
So yes, and so generally this is classified into two types. One, of course, it's a computer vision based detection, whether we could able to identify it or not. That's the first thing we should know. And if it is an identifiable one, then it is first thing by positioning the camera in a right place and finding the defect, and the position of the defect would be the first stage. And upon completing it successfully, and we also have to know whether they would like to go for application like mobile or web of the need to see whether there is a detect, or later if they wanted to connect with the sprayer, we have to decide whether the application is needed. That's one side of it. And the second side of it, it's about implementation of the sprayer. So the implementation of the sprayer, what by my knowledge and what I was discussing with Vishwa, it should be something and industrial ready one, which has to be sourced and which has to be commenced by the certificate player in this industry. So this is what the two parts. So one is a CV based detection, and then how we are going to make it spray a solution to it. So here, the first part, identifying the defect, and would be the requirement only based on visiting, and only based on how the manual verification by like Rohith and Vishwa, we can confirm whether first it is really possible or not. Because Umachandran sir once mentioned there are 7 kind of anomalies what they faces for a touch up. It could be like a rust, or it could be maybe a corner or internal corner which may not be sprayed. So how we are going to position a camera and how we are going to picture it, and which is a very important things to be discussed first. That's take into consideration. The second one, what kind of solution, sprayer solution we are going to have. It is like I have to still not been discussed with Vishwa on the product, but what my thinking of how it could be implemented is like it could be like 3D printer. Most of you might see in the 3D printer, where a sprayer can move on the both the side, and the sprayer can based on the camera position, the sprayer can go to a particular position and it can be sprayed out. So my question comes to Vishwa, and like whether is that a only solution, or can we go for the other solution? And second is that the camera has to be positioned at the top, or it has to be positioned with the sprayer so that detection can be done. So these are the areas which we have to find out the requirement first, and then the Vishwas should able to give us a industrial ready solution where our technical people can work on the controller part to make it automate. So this would be the outline, sir.
Right. You made it to the point, right? Mahesh, see,
Yes.
there can be 7 kind of a defects, or I don't know about the frank numbers. That was what Naresh told me on the first day when I visited them. But wherever the defect is, the sprayer is the one which needs to move horizontally, or even
Vertical.
at inclined position. Because for catching up the internal surfaces, it should also go on an angular positioning. So that, as you said, we have to find out whether industry ready products are available, or we can ask Godrej itself, because we are not automation specialists. We are going to them as emerging technology specialists. That is, our important work is computer vision and deep learning. So our camera will capture which is right, which is wrong, and on the wrong areas, the sprayer has to function. That's all. So our input is going to be only up to this level. And then on, we need to find out whether industry ready, machine or product or equipment is available, or we will take inputs from Vishwa, where Vishwa will guide us, like, you suggest this or that. That is again, it is not only we are an expert, we have to involve those people who are on the line to identify which is the best thing that can suit to them. So this will go on. So for us, we will limit ourselves with computer vision and deep learning. And then the triggering point, we will give it to the equipment or machine which is going to spray. That's all. And what they have to select for machine or things, we will leave it to them. This is where I depend more on Rohith. See, for the first time when I met Rohith, I have developed a lot of confidence in him. Though I have not openly talked, this is the first time, on a project base, I'm talking to him. I'm confident Rohith will quickly, build a relationship with the team, and he will identify how this can be implemented. And along with Vishwa's experience on automation, we will try to find out a best solution. Okay, or a solution which matters to them as a convincing part on their costs and expectations. So because we don't know whether straight away they will invest more or they will progressively invest on building this machine, spraying part. Okay, so I leave it to them. Okay, so what we want to do is now, with this team now, we will first identify or roll out a plan. We'll make a sketch of a plan, like this. These are the activities we'll do. These are the time plan we'll have. And this can be within our scope. This is not within our scope. This the client has to do with. Like that, we need to find out what we can take and what we cannot take first.
Okay.
Just do a brainstorming before we visit them. And when we visit them, Rohith and Viswas will find out on reality what is possible, what is not possible. And then when they talk with the engineers and managers there in Godrej, then they will find they can suggest like this same kind of a meeting. We'll have another meeting after their visit. Okay. As a first day of meet, I will go along with Rohith and Vishwa on that day, whenever whatever date we are finalizing. And then after that, I leave it to them. After that, I completely depend on Rohith and Vishwa to coordinate with Mahesh and keep me posted of whatever is happening, so that I will also get to know and barge in whenever, wherever I'm required to push in. Okay, this is where my path of progress, project progress, I wish to follow with. So now, if Mahesh can identify what the plan of the project is, so if you can draft, what are the milestone or deliverables or anything like that, then we'll keep it along with the time zones. Then let Rohith and Vishwa go to the place and let them finalize and tell us, okay, this is possible, this is not possible. This is within the scope of WRW. WRW is our team, okay? WRW services or the Godrej scope. So we need to identify what is within our scope and what is not within our scope, based on which we will do the cost proposition. Then we will share it to them and then push it to them. This is where my thinking is. Okay. Now I leave it to Rohith. Rohith, please take up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I agree with you. The scope is very important, right? Because without scope, we are just shooting in dark, right? So I think we have to decide the scope first. As Mahesh said, we are spreading it into two, right? So only we should deal with. I mean, we should our initial scope should be only to identify the defect and pointing that spray towards it. It is up to them to decide which exact I mean industry ready tools or they might already have some sort of solution in terms. It could be a dumb tool. We are just making it smart. So that is something that completely is depending on the scope, how and what we are going to do. So I think this I think I we have to discuss. I have to basically discuss with Viswas and Mahesh first to write down the scope and then eliminate which is not part of ours. Then we can check out Godrej. I mean, I actually want to see the defect by myself with my own eyesight. In camera, they are just spraying it out. It is not visible. I want to see whether it is actually visible to eyes or it is only visible to trained eye. What exactly is the defect? And I just want to see that first to analyze
Okay.
what these things are. Yeah.
Rohith, see, as a mechanical engineer, I would suggest there can be many defects which are identified on a normal basis, like not enough of spray paint. That will be the first point. Second
Okay.
is there can be overdrops. When paint coagulates, what happens is at some point it will be of a thicker section. Okay, that will be second point. Then there will be rust areas or you'll have what to say, metal erosion due to your rust formation, and in those areas there will be lesser amount of paint deposition. Okay, like this, there are various points, but on seeing the video, what I see is these people who are spraying the guns, the paint gun, they are just doing mechanically. They are not seeing anything. Wherever their eye goes and their body, their hand is also going.
Correct.
So, I've gone through this video a couple of times, and I found out they are just doing it because there is less number of the time available for completing this activity is less. This is a finishing operation. So what they are doing is they are spraying wherever it is possible, and this paint quickly settles or sets up. So it is easy for them to quickly wrap it up and pack it. So after painting, also they are turning the the bars and I don't know how to term it. After going there, we'll find out what term they are telling for the product. They are turning it upside down so that it becomes a kind of a locker. And
correct. They interlock two things together to wrap them, right? I saw that. Yeah.
Yes. They are interlocking. They are interlocking, and then they are putting a tape so that it doesn't go out of alignment. And then they together wrap it with a brown tape or anything, and then they put a barcode or something before dispatching. This is how they have this final operation being carried out. When we go there, it will be good enough for us to understand much more better, because
in one more point, what exactly are they trying to eliminate? Are they trying to eliminate the human work, or are they trying to bring down the time? Because
the question what you asked now is the very pertinent one. See, they want to eliminate the human activity of spraying. That is what they are trying to do. Maybe these people who are spraying are the ones who are company employees. All other people who are doing the wrapping and all are contract employees. Maybe they are having some initial problems with the company employees, saying that, showing that this is a very important kind of a work. So they may try to tell this is not important, this the machine can do. And this can be the latent answer to it, because any IT project will have something which is latent and something which is very visible. The visible part is implementing emerging technology. Latent part is to remove these 3-4 people.
Makes sense.
Maybe that is their requirement also. I don't know, and we are not bothered about it. But where we are asked to do it is we'll bring the mechanization or the automation into it.
Correct. It's a trade-off, right, between speed and accuracy. So that's why I'm trying to understand.
The way how they are doing is not also onto any kind of a quality. They are just spraying. They have the gun in their hand and they are just spraying. And
Yes.
it's almost like 40 feet. Each person takes about 10 feet. So 4 people are there, if you see. And each person has to handle around 10 feet. So they know where defects will come. And accordingly, they position themselves.
Umachandran, is there any plan for the thickness measurement? Any vision is there for that?
Thickness, we can do it, but for now,
that is also a matter for the painting, no, actually. Either it's a powder coating or whatever spray painting. That is also an important matter.
No, that is.
You mean detection of the thickness using the computer vision, sir? That is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I mean to say, actually.
The thickness can be measured, sir. It is possible.
What we will do, we will let Rohith and Viswas go to the place, come, and then they discuss with Mahesh.
Correct.
And then we will all sit together and find out.
Right. So the goal of what they're expecting should be very clear, sir. Meaning, is it quality of work? Is it time what they're is it time what they're worrying about? Is it human resource what they, because the solution will change depending on those in priority, right? It's always a trade-off, right? So we have to understand from them what is the first thing they want to eliminate, what is the second priority, what is the third priority, so we can put our design in a way.
No, you have the freedom to identify, and you do it as per your that day, whatever knowledge, inquisitiveness you get into it. We leave it to you. But what happens is, Rohith, the starting point can be like quality, and the ending point will be onto human resource.
Okay.
It's a cycle. It will go with quality, then it will go with speed, then it will go with whatever aspects it is, like Kannan said, and it can go with the human resources in the last end. So we don't know, frankly. So it's a point which goes on developing as the project goes on.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, good. Viswas, can you throw us some light?
Yeah, definitely. I was hearing all those words which comes from you, everyone. So when I saw the video, I would talk from a process and knowing the human problem.
Viswas, I'm sorry, your voice is not much clear, Viswas.
Okay. Is it audible now?
Yes. Now it's
okay,
good.
fine. Better know. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. So what I was seeing from the video is it has around the 6 process to be happening from the machine to the humans, and it goes and ends and it goes like that. First the sheet comes, then they're arranging it and keep it in the roller, and that roller push it out, then it sends, then the sprayer happens, then they arrange each and every rail, wrap it up and put the barcode. So in this 6th process, I could see 3 manual and 3 automation has been going on. This is first thing. So when we see the identification of the problems, I could take it into 3 ways. One is the material defects can be detected, like coarse, rust, air dust, whatever happens from the environmental scenarios, that would be taken into the first stage. Next would be the job waste also would be considered, that how much time they are taking to paint a spray. For example, I made a SOP of the manufacturing that line needs to happen for around 20 steels, but I did only for 15 steels. That also would be measured for my defects, so where it gone wrong. Then as you said, sir, quality, that also comes into the picture, that how they are measuring the qualities right now, and where are they storing those data, and how they are measuring those elements. So that also we will be tracking it up and taking it up. So when we talk about the deep learning and computer vision, that is 2 separate things. Deep learning, I would say, with the deep learning, we could measure, like for each and every image, we could take 72 frames of a slides, and with that we could see what are the defects are happening inside from the paint angle as well as from the metal angle also can be detected, and that everything is going to be stored in a camera, and we are going to see how it's going to alignable. From the industrial perspective, I could see many companies are there having their industrial ready-mades like ABB, Kuka, Wenseker, Yogeshwa. So many companies are there are doing into it. So according what you told right now, we want to know what the company's perspective on acquiring these machines, or they might have some mechanical interferences already in their system. Just we need to connect those things and make those things to happen. And one more point also came very good, something like measuring that thickness into it. So when we are identifying the defects, also that also will be like a 3D angle. Will be measuring those thickness evaluations and values also on top of it. So that also will be going into the picture. So as you mentioned, like me and Rohit, when we are stepping into the industry, we would be knowing the entire atmosphere, like how that process is happening. From the process angle, we have to take it. When we are measuring the quality and when we are calculating the job waste and everything, from the process angle, we have to see it. We have to see how they are planning and what they have actually derived. From that, we could understand where are the quality defects are happening into it. And based on that, we could make our measurements and bring our technologies on top of it and shoot the light on their systems. That's it. That's how it goes.
Good, good, good.
Yes, sir.
Right then, right then. What then? The next point is, as you people make up a kind of template, so that we take it as a pre-home work, and then we go to the site and we then eliminate which is to be done by us and which is not to be done by us, or modify our thinking. We'll make a scrap work before we enter. So quickly, you people have to get into a kind of a template that needs to be derived. One. Number
Yes.
two, when can we go? Because today I have already alerted Naresh and Dr. Ravish, saying that next week, that is anytime from Monday, we'll be in a position to come and ask you for a time of about 1 hour in the shop floor, and then some 1 hour or half an hour of discussion. And then I have another work with them for training them on Python. This is where the requirement is. Okay. So when is it convenient for us? Or I can ask them a date and time, so that it is convenient for both Rohith and Vishwa.
So basically, it should be in their working hours, right? Because
Yes.
we need to see it. Okay. I take their working hours as 9 to 6. Is my assumption correct?
Somewhere 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Oh,
30 to 8:30 to 5:30.
okay.
So
I think Vishwas will discuss this. Maybe by tomorrow we'll give you a date, because I think
okay. Date and you need to give me the date, and you can tell me most probably on the forenoon, because afternoon they will have their meetings.
Yes.
okay.
So anytime after 9 o'clock or 9:30 and before 11:30, we should be out from that place.
Got it. Okay.
So this is where if you can think, then I'll suit my calendar also accordingly.
Okay. Okay. We'll give you an update by tomorrow. I think
No
and Vishwas will discuss first.
And even before you give the date, you people have a private meeting and make something drafted, so that this is a project which goes with timeline. And I don't think they will appreciate more than 3 months maximum.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And we will also lose the heat if it goes more than that time.
Sir, one more point I having in my mind. So when Mahesh was discussing, that comes across me. So will they seek for the solution as a web application or a mobile one or an industrial HMI, which they would have it in the assembly line, even where they could see the defects and measurement and everything? So that also need to be aligned accordingly, right?
Yeah, that is right. But frankly, to me, I am a guy who is over ambitious. So I don't know whether I can give you a right solution, right answer.
Yes.
We'll get the right answer from them on the day when we talk to them.
Definitely, sir. And also, like you mentioned, before stepping into the factory, we need to understand how the factory works. We need to do our do's and don'ts, and also we need to have our SWOT analysis on top of it, the strength and the weakness and opportunity and threats, what we are into it. So we need to take it very much into a lean process. Our approach needs to be so that the people who are there might understand what we are speaking. Based on the change management, also we need to analyze how far we could making the automation. That is different, but maximizing their effort on doing that needs to be centralized. So we would align it on top of it, sir.
Yeah, correct. So that is how we need to think about our project.
Definitely, sir. All right.
Okay. So Dhanavel, your inputs, please.
Yes, sir. Sorry, actually, I didn't go through that video, so.
No, we did not share you, frankly.
No problem.
The people, and I missed you completely. In the morning only, I got a recognition of you. you're still part of it, and I'm sorry for not sharing you.
No problem.
I'll share you
No
later.
problem.
Ah.
But I can understand what you are discussing. So maybe at the end of the day, the production or the company will look for increasing the productivity and with a lesser cost. That's it.
Come again.
So actually, end of the day, the company will be looking for a solution, optimize the solution to increase their productivity with the best solution.
No, see, for now, they are coming to us for a quality issue.
Quality issue. Okay. So they wanted to
for a quality issue, they have come. So thing is linked. When you bring in quality, it should not have any compromise on speed. If speed is not compromised, your productivity is not compromised. If your productivity is not compromised, then your lesser lean management comes into place. So
yes.
it's a vicious circle. We realize the starting point is. So we'll go there and we'll find out.
Okay, sir. I understand. Maybe suppose, for example, we take it 100 products. If there is a 10 defect product, 10%, they want to decrease that quality and make it 100%.
Correct. Okay. For now, we will stop with that. We will think it is not the quality. And then as Rohith and Vishwa meet the team, they will be in a better position to identify what is the real requirement.
Yes.
And I will also not, influence my decision on these two people. I'll be just, to identify what is happening and how things are happening. And I leave it to them to work free, with free hands. That's how I'll do it.
But we will definitely request you to pitch in when you feel that the pitch is right.
Actually, I'm a 12th man. Wherever you want me, I can be positioned. No issues.
Your mechanical experience would be a handy one, sir. So we needed that for sure.
Naturally, I have 35 years plus of experience.
Wow, great. Yeah.
So anywhere you can use me. That's where I said no. I'm available. So wherever you want me to do it, I'll no issue.
Definitely, sir. On it.
Where is the factory located, Uma? Factory, where it is located?
Factory now is in Ambattur. The factory which has given us order is in Ambattur.
That is only one unit in Chennai, or?
No, that's a very big unit which is catering to the industrial warehousing.
Okay.
So the whole of India and to the world. This is a plant which is the industrial warehousing. And from here only it is shipped across to domestic and export market.
Okay.
It is called as Godrej Interior. See, two plants are there in Chennai. Both are called as Godrej Interior. One is in Mepsa, which is completely onto domestic products.
Okay.
And industrial products are done in Ambattur.
Fine.
Okay. So I think this is enough of an input, and thank you very much for your time. If you wish to get clarified on anything else, please feel free to ask.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.